This video is brought to you by my two books, Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist and The Blues Guitar Bible. Want to learn about modes, harmony, scales, chord substitution and keys? Or maybe you're interested in supercharging your blues guitar rhythm and lead chops. Whatever you're interested in, I guarantee you will be hitting the fast lane to progress with either of these works. Both feature video demonstrations and tutorials, loads of tabs and jam tracks to play along with, and I promise you, everything is explained in crystal clear plain English. Check out the links in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Tuesday today, so we're doing a top 5 list, and this one's been on my mind for a while. It stems from a conversation I had with an old pal of mine. Gosh, it's got to be 20 years ago, and I just wanted to kind of massage it and sculpt it into some kind of video format that fits with what I tend to do on this channel. And you've already seen what the thumbnail is and the the title of the video. It's basically, I'm saying that there are benefits beyond the obvious to learning a musical instrument, in my case the guitar, or it could be anything, bagpipes even, trumpet, whatever. It's had an incredibly positive impact on my life being able to play a musical instrument, and it's not all just about the fact that, yes, I make a living from playing the guitar and teaching the guitar and blethering away into a webcam like this. It's helped me in other ways as well, and that's what I want to talk about today, starting with
the thrill of it all.
Yeah, I guess this is the most obvious thing, the thrill of being able to do it, that joy that I got the first time I was able to pick up a guitar, form a D chord shape and an A7 chord shape, and strum a musical sound out of those two chords. I think it was some Boney M song, if anyone remembers them. Remember Brown Girl in the Ring? You could play that on a D and an A7 chord. And yes, and just the fact that you could pick up a musical instrument and make music with it. You were no longer an observer, you were a participant as well. And I just would listen to music in a different way. It would be like, one day I'll be able to do that, rather than, isn't that wonderful, I have no idea how it's being done. Now I was starting to get an inkling of, just when I'd learned those first two chords, that yes, this was a path that I was on, and that thrill has never ever left me. So it may be, as I say, not a huge life benefit, but it's maybe it is, I don't know, but I had to mention it. Next,
expanding your musical tastes.
There are styles of music that I just didn't get, that I didn't understand and couldn't get my head round until I started playing music, and then I gained an understanding of them. As I've mentioned many times, I am a child of the 70s, a child of the 60s. I was born in 67, but I grew up in the 70s, and the predominant music that I was exposed to then, you think of the 70s as being like disco and punk, but there was a massive 50s rock and roll revival thing going on in the 70s. And and that was what really kind of floated my boat. It helped that it was like the music that was on around the house as well, because both my parents were part of that sort of rock and roll generation. So I was hearing Bill Haley and the Comets and Jerry Lee Lewis and all that sort of stuff as I was growing up. And that's the sort of music. Plus it's in the charts with bands like Showaddy Waddy, and it's on the TV with shows like Happy Days and so on. And that's where I was musically, and that's the reason I wanted to learn to play the guitar when I got my first guitar in 1978. And I didn't at that point understand what the attraction was of this long-haired, loud distorted sound called rock music or heavy metal. It's amazing how many things were called heavy metal back in the 70s. Thin Lizzy were considered a heavy metal band. How times change, how definitions evolve, I suppose. But then when I started playing the guitar, suddenly it's like, actually, yeah, now I see why people like that. And that sort of, would I have got interested in rock music without being a guitar player, without taking those first steps? Possibly not. But I don't think I'd ever have, developed a taste for jazz, which I did later do. My journey sort of went from 50s rock and roll into rock music, and from rock and roll into sort of blues, and from blues into jazz, and just exploring all of these different avenues, really. And I don't think jazz would have opened itself up to me in the way that it did if it hadn't been for the fact that I play a musical instrument. It's often said that jazz isn't a spectator sport, and I kind of get that. It's something that you enjoy doing equally as much as you enjoy listening. And I think you have to have a little bit of an understanding of the doing to appreciate the listening side of it. So yeah, it expands your musical tastes. Certainly did for me. Next.
It fosters a strong work ethic.
Oh, yes, indeed. The work ethic that comes along with being a musician is a massive life benefit, I think. It's as good an example, I think, as you can get of, you put in the hours and you get the rewards as a result of that. You make an effort, and that effort leads to results that you're happy with. There are no shortcuts. There are no hacks that make it that mean you can just suddenly leapfrog over lots and lots of intermediate stages that you have to go through. You've just got to slog away at it. And the secret is that it hasn't got to feel like hard work. If you're one of those people that you've just started taking up guitar lessons, or you're learning any musical instrument, and it's tough going, but you're enjoying it, then that is, I'll guarantee you're going to succeed, because it's that hard work that you put in that will get you there. But you don't notice the fact that it's hard work because you're loving what you're doing so much. And that's something that, I want to talk about this in the next point as well, but it's hard to switch that work ethic off when you put the guitar down. You carry it with you into other areas of life, and you start seeing the benefits perhaps at school, as I did, or in your job or something like that. Whatever, you start looking at things in a different way, perhaps. I certainly did anyway. These are all just personal points for me. It certainly taught me a life lesson about developing. Well, I didn't even know what a work ethic was back then, but it certainly kind of made me book my ideas up and get my finger out and work a little bit harder at anything and everything I do. Next.
Mental sharpness.
Now, I went to school in the 1970s, and I left school in 84. Okay, and in those days, I don't know if it's the same thing now, but you were graded into sets for your kind of ability in any particular subject. If you were in set 1, you were the creme de la creme. You were like some kind of genius. Set 2 was where sets 2 and 3 were where kind of most people were. Set 4 was where all the slackers used to end up. And if you couldn't hack it in set 4, then you got put into what was called the remedial group, and you didn't want to be in the remedial group because Mr. Brett was head of remedial, and he was an awful little goblin of a man, about 5'0", wearing a nasty brown nylon suit with elbow patches, and he always stank of Rothman's cigarettes, and loved nothing more than bellowing at you down the corridor. So you didn't want to have anything to do with Mr. Brett. And I was in set 3 for most things, English, maths, science, whatever. And within a year of me taking up the guitar, I was up in set 1. My schoolwork improved. I was able to process things. I was able to think logically about things in a way that I just didn't hadn't occurred to me to think in those kind of ways, before I took up music. Learning to remember a song, for example, from beginning to end, and imposing some sort of structure on that, is not that different from learning to remember a formula that you need when you're in maths or science or something like that. It improved my exam results. And I was reaping the rewards. It sharpened me up mentally. Whether that happens with everybody or not, I can't tell you, but it certainly did for me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is that something that you've noticed either in yourself or people that you know that have taken up a musical instrument? Next,
business skills.
Business skills. What's this all about then? Well, yes, this is more a case of when you are, on the road to being a musician, or you're a kind of fair way down that road, and you get a band together. Okay, usually bands start happening when you're in the sort of later years of your school career, of your educational career. And you've got to learn about business skills. What do I mean? Well, time management, punctuality, customer focus. Your customers are the audience you're playing to, okay? And there is nothing, I think, worse than standing on your hind legs in front of an audience and playing a song that you love and almost just seeing the tumbleweed kind of blow past because the audience are, just not interested in what you're doing. It makes you think, okay, right, well, we need to rethink this then. We need to kind of focus on the customer. And, if you go into any situation with that kind of mindset where you're on time, you're punctual, on time, you can organize things to be, like your time management, you can be here and you can kind of be there, and in between you've got tasks to do and you can get them done. All of these skills are things that you learn in a band, and that I found them useful, in my little cottage industry business that I've got, teaching guitar lessons, which I've done now for pretty much. Well, I'm 57 and I've been self-employed since I was in my early 20s. So it's mostly what I know is being self-employed and using those business skills. But I imagine any walk of life that you're in, if you've got an employer and you are punctual and you get stuff done and you get it done on time, and you've got good organisational skills, then that's got to be an asset for any organisation, and you are going to quite possibly be the golden boy or golden girl, in your immediate boss's attention, So just as I say, maybe I should have called it organisational skills, time management skills, but for me, that they're all hand in hand with, customer focus. They're all hand in hand with, just what it is to sort of run a small little business like I run here. But I can't see how they're not useful, whether or not you're self-employed or not, just in everyday life. So there you go, folks. Those are the 5 benefits of becoming a musician. The thrill of being able to do it, Let me have a look at my list. The expansion of your musical tastes, the work ethic that it fosters, the mental sharpness and the organisational time management, customer focus skills that it also brings along. That last one there is, as I say, if you are in a band and you are kind of, and sort of interpersonal skills, if you're in a band, you've got to get on with people. We've all been in bands that's had that fantastic musician or singer that is absolutely fantastic, but they end up just not making the cut because you can't be around that person for whatever reason. Let me know, as I say, what you think of this little list down in the comments. Is it something that chimes with you, or is it something that you think I've just been talking utter cobblers for the last however long I've been blethering away? All comments and opinions are welcome. Just let me know downstairs in the comment section. And that is the video for today, folks. Hope you found it interesting and perhaps thought-provoking in some small way, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it? And of course, don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 p.m. UK time. We just basically drink beer and talk about stuff, and that's about as complicated as it needs to get. It's beer and chat on a Friday, and it's a fantastic way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it, but for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.